You've been wondering why doors you once dreamed about are suddenly opening, why the very thing you thought was lost is finding its way back to you. God says, "I've changed my mind about you." Not because you begged me harder, not because you were perfect, but because your heart has shifted. You no longer want me just for what I can give you. You want me for me, and that changes everything. For a long time, heaven was silent toward you. It wasn't because I didn't love you. It was because I was protecting you from you. You wanted blessings that your character could not yet carry. You were asking for rooms you would not know how to stand in, and I could not give you a gift that would crush you under its weight. But something happened recently. I saw you walk away from what could have destroyed you. I saw you choose truth over popularity. I saw you let go of the thing you thought you could never live without, because deep down, you knew it wasn't sent by me. Do you realize how much strength that took? You didn't just change your mind about the situation. You changed your mind about yourself. And now, I am changing mine about you. I am reassigning you. Where the enemy thought you were finished, I am writing a new beginning. The label they put on you is falling off. The accusations are losing their power. The delay is coming to an end. My child, you passed the test you didn't know you were taking. This next chapter is not a continuation of the old story. It's a whole new book, and the pages have already been written with victory in the end. The people who walked away will have to watch me bless you openly, not to humiliate them, but to prove my covenant with you was never broken. They thought you lost your position, but I was simply moving you to a higher one. This is why you've been feeling the ground shift under your feet. It's not instability, it's alignment. I am placing you exactly where you are meant to be. You will look back and say, if God had not closed that door, I would have walked straight into disaster. I changed my mind about you because you let go of what I never gave you. You loosened your grip on temporary things to receive eternal things. This isn't just about material blessings. This is about trust. You have shown me that I can trust you with more. So now, the favor that once seemed far from you will begin to follow you. Opportunities will chase you down. Even your enemies will have to acknowledge the change in your life. Do not waste energy trying to explain yourself to everyone. Some will never understand until they see it with their own eyes, and they will see. The quiet work I've been doing in you is about to be displayed openly. You won't have to force it. You won't have to manipulate it. You won't have to strive for it. I will simply position you and it will fit. Because this time, you're not entering the blessing alone. You're entering it with me. And before we go deeper into what God is saying in this season, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now so you never miss the word He's releasing for you. If this is speaking to you already, don't delay. Subscribe immediately and stay connected to what God is doing here.
This is why you've been feeling the ground shift under your feet. It's not instability, it's alignment. I am placing you exactly where you are meant to be. You will look back and say, if God had not closed that door, I would have walked straight into disaster. I changed my mind about you because you let go of what I never gave you. You loosened your grip on temporary things to receive eternal things. This isn't just about material blessings, this is about trust. You have shown me that I can trust you with more. So now, the favor that once seemed far from you will begin to follow you. Opportunities will chase you down. Even your enemies will have to acknowledge the change in your life. Do not waste energy trying to explain yourself to everyone. Some will never understand until they see it with their own eyes. And they will see. The quiet work I've been doing in you is about to be displayed openly. You won't have to force it. You won't have to manipulate it. You won't have to strive for it. I will simply position you and it will fit. Because this time, you're not entering the blessing alone. You're entering it with me. God says, you've been marked for a turnaround. You've been walking through seasons where it felt like every step forward came with 2 steps back. You've been questioned. You've been overlooked. You've been underestimated. But I want you to hear this clearly. I have not forgotten you. I have been watching the small decisions you've been making when no one else was looking. The ones where you chose integrity over shortcuts. The ones where you chose forgiveness over revenge. The ones where you stayed quiet instead of defending yourself. Those moments, they were not wasted. They were not unnoticed. They were proof that your character could hold the weight of your calling. I changed my mind about you because you refused to change your values just to fit in. You could have compromised to get ahead. You could have manipulated your way into an open door, but you didn't. And in a world that rewards the quick and the clever, you chose the narrow road that very few take. And now, that road is about to lead you into rooms you never thought you'd enter. I am removing the people who only stayed close because of what they could take from you. They are not being rejected, they are being redirected. They cannot walk with you into this next chapter because they do not carry the same vision or the same oil. Do not fight me on this. Some doors are closing permanently so your destiny can open fully. I am protecting you from connections that would look like blessings but act like chains. You have been faithful with little. Now I will trust you with much. There will be days coming soon where you will wonder, how did I get here? How did this happen so fast? And you will remember this moment when I told you my mind has changed about you. Because your posture has changed toward me, your path is changing before you. I am rewriting the script. The scene you thought would end in defeat will end in triumph. The story you thought was over will suddenly open a new chapter. And the pain that once felt like it would break you will become the proof that I was building you. Get ready, not for the return of what you lost, but for the arrival of what you never knew you could have. Your name is about to be mentioned in rooms you've never entered. Not because you pushed your way in, but because I sent your name ahead of you.
When they see you, they will not see the version of you that was wounded or the one that was weary. They will see the one I have restored, equipped, and anointed for this very moment. And when it happens, do not shrink back. Do not disqualify yourself in your own mind. Walk in as if you belong, because this time you do. God says, you thought the delay was denial, but it was design. You prayed, you fasted, you asked me to move, and when nothing happened, you assumed I'd said no. But I was not denying you. I was preparing you. I've changed my mind about you because you let the waiting shape you instead of harden you. You could have grown bitter. You could have stopped believing. You could have turned away and chased after your own plan. But you didn't. You stayed. You trusted me when the answers didn't come. You worshiped me when the evidence wasn't there. And that tells me you're ready for what I've been holding in reserve for you. The wilderness you walked through was not empty space. It was training ground. I let certain doors remain closed so you would learn to depend on me instead of the applause of people. I hid you, not to punish you, but to protect you until the appointed time. And now, the appointed time is drawing near.
The years you felt unseen were the years I was carving strength into your spirit. You didn't see the change because it happened one day at a time. But the enemy saw it, and that's why the attacks became heavier. You've wondered, why is life getting harder when I'm doing everything right? It's because the closer you got to breakthrough, the more the opposition tried to pull you back. But you kept moving forward, even if it was only an inch at a time. That's why I've changed my mind about you. I'm calling you out of the season of just surviving into the season of truly living. The blessings that are coming aren't just answers to old prayers. They are rewards for your endurance. You didn't break when you had every reason to. You didn't quit when the pressure was almost unbearable. So now, I'm placing in your hands things you once thought belonged to someone else. What you thought was stolen will be restored. What you thought was lost will be redeemed. Do not waste time asking, why now? Simply know this: now is the time because your heart is ready, your spirit is steady, and your faith has been proven in fire. I am moving you from one day to this day, and when it happens, you'll understand why the wait was worth it. So get ready to step out of hiding. I am about to place you in positions where your voice will matter, your presence will carry weight, and your story will inspire others to keep going. The very people who doubted you will say, something is different about them. It's as if they were made for this moment. And they'll be right. You were. And God says, you thought I had moved on from you, but I was moving you. There were moments you looked at others being promoted, blessed, celebrated, and you wondered, did God forget my name? I didn't forget you. I was shifting you out of places that could hold the fullness of who you were becoming. If I had blessed you there, it would have been a prison disguised as a platform. And I love you too much to give you something that would shrink you. I've changed my mind about you because you've changed your mind about settling. Once, you would have taken anything just to feel secure. Now, you've learned to wait for what is truly mine for you. That patience is a sign of maturity, and maturity opens doors that talent alone never could.
You stopped measuring your worth by how quickly things happened. You stopped competing with the timelines of others. You began to see that your journey was unique and that my pace was your protection. Do you see it now? Every detour was a direct route to something greater. Every loss was a seed for a future gain. Every no was a divine shield. I saw how you handled the quiet seasons. You didn't waste them. You dug into my presence. You let me heal what you used to hide. And because of that, I can now trust you with influence, with resources, with opportunities, without those things pulling you away from me. This is why, in the days ahead, you will begin to notice a different kind of favor. It won't be the kind that just gives you blessings. It will be the kind that gives you purpose. You will wake up with clarity where you used to wake up with confusion. You will see connections form where there used to be closed circles. And you will walk into moments that feel like they were waiting for you all along. I'm not just giving you what you've asked for. I'm giving you what you didn't know to ask for. Gifts that go beyond your imagination. Doors that bypass your qualifications. Grace that covers what you cannot do on your own. You will stand in rooms and wonder, how am I here?
And you will remember, it's because I changed my mind about you when you surrendered your will to mine. No more striving, no more chasing what isn't yours. From here on, you will receive what fits, and you'll recognize it instantly because it will come with peace, not pressure. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders. You are walking into a season where everything begins to make sense. And when it does, you'll realize, I never moved on from you. I was moving you into the place you were always meant to be. God says you have no idea how close you are to the shift you've been praying for. The weight you've been carrying has been heavy, but it's not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're almost there. I've changed my mind about you because you've allowed the crushing to produce character instead of letting it produce bitterness. I saw how you kept showing up when no one was applauding. I saw how you kept believing when nothing was changing. And I saw how you kept your heart soft when it would have been easier to shut it down. You don't realize how much those small choices have shaped your destiny. Every time you chose to stay instead of run, to trust instead of fear, to forgive instead of retaliate, you were passing tests you didn't even know I had allowed. And now, heaven has taken notice. There is a record of your endurance. There is a record of your obedience. And there is a record of your worship when it felt like nothing was working. I am about to move in a way that will redeem the years the enemy tried to steal from you. It won't just be restoration, it will be multiplication. You won't just get back what you lost, you'll gain what you never had. The waiting room is about to turn into the delivery room. What you carried in faith is about to be birthed into reality. But I need you to hear this. Do not let the noise of fear drown out the sound of my voice. There will be distractions in this next stretch. There will be people who try to remind you of who you used to be. Do not look back. Do not explain yourself. Do not justify your blessing to anyone. I changed my mind about you because you've proven that you value my presence over your platform. You've shown me that you can be trusted with both the gift and the giver. So here's what's coming. Open doors you didn't knock on, opportunities you didn't have to chase, and divine appointments that feel like miracles in disguise.
You are going to see the hand of God move so swiftly that even those who doubted you will be silenced, not by your words, but by the evidence of my favor on your life. And when it happens, you'll finally understand why I made you wait, why I made you let go, and why I never let you settle. You are not stepping into this season as the same person who walked through the last one. You are stepping in refined, restored, and ready. My child, the change is already in motion. And soon you'll look back and say, "This is what he was preparing me for all along." God says, you have outgrown the season that once defined you. There was a time when fear dictated your choices, when you stayed small because you didn't trust yourself to step into more, when you believed the lie that you weren't enough, and so you lived like it was true. But I've been watching, and I've seen you choose courage even when your hands were shaking. I've seen you take steps of faith with nothing but my word to guide you. I've changed my mind about you because you've changed the way you see yourself. You no longer see yourself through the lens of past mistakes, but through the lens of my grace. You've learned that your failures are not final when I'm the one holding your story. This is why the chains that once felt unbreakable have been falling, one by one, even when you didn't notice. You prayed for breakthrough, but what I was giving you was transformation, because without the change inside you, the blessings around you
would have slipped through your fingers. Now, your spirit is different. Your heart is steady. Your faith has roots deep enough to withstand storms. This next season will not require the same kind of struggle the last one did. You've already learned the lessons. You've already passed the tests. The battles you fought in private are about to produce public favor. And when people see the shift, they won't understand how it happened so suddenly, but you'll know it was years in the making. I am lifting you out of obscurity and placing you in positions where your voice carries weight. Your name will come up in conversations that matter, not because you forced it, but because I've aligned it. And here's what you must remember. Do not shrink to make others comfortable with your growth. Do not apologize for the light I've placed in you. Do not let guilt trick you into returning to places I've delivered you from. You are not who you used to be, and you will never be that person again. So walk boldly into the open doors I'm setting before you. They're not traps. They're not tests. They're rewards. I changed my mind about you because you chose me over comfort, purpose over popularity, and destiny over distraction. Now, watch what I do next. God says, "You thought I was silent, but I was speaking in ways you didn't expect." There were nights you prayed and felt nothing, days you asked for direction and heard no reply. And in that silence, you began to wonder if I had pulled away. But I was closer than you realized. I was speaking through closed doors. I was answering through delayed timelines. I was guiding you by removing options you didn't have the strength to walk away from on your own. I've changed my mind about you because you've learned to trust me even without constant reassurance.
You stopped demanding that I prove myself in every moment. You began to rest in the truth that my heart for you is good, even when my plan is hidden. That kind of trust is rare. It's the trust that moves mountains. It's the trust that allows me to place more in your hands without it slipping through your fingers. Do you know what happens next? The whispers of doubt that once followed you will be drowned out by the evidence of my faithfulness. The people who questioned your journey will watch it unfold in ways that defy explanation. And the doors you thought were locked forever will begin to open, not by your power, but by mine. I saw how you endured the season of pruning. I saw how you let me cut away relationships, habits, and mindsets that no longer served your purpose. It hurt, but you didn't resist. You trusted that I was making room for something better. And now, that something better is on its way. This is not a season for you to go back to old patterns. This is a season for you to step into the new identity I've been shaping inside you. You are no longer defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what I am doing through you. I am placing you where your presence will shift atmospheres, where your words will carry healing, where your story will be proof that I redeem, restore, and revive. You will not have to force people to believe in you. I will send the right ones who recognize your value without you having to convince them. And when they ask, "How did this happen?" you will simply say, "It was God. He never left. He just changed his mind about me." So stand firm. Stay ready. The very silence you once feared was the sound of me rearranging everything in your favor. God says, "You thought the battle was about what you could see, but it was about what I was building in you." The storms you faced were never random. Every trial had an assignment. Every challenge was shaping something in you that comfort never could. I've changed my mind about you because you've stopped asking for an easy path and started asking for a strong spirit. That's a shift most people never make, and it's the reason I can now trust you with more than you once imagined.
You've learned that victory is not always about winning quickly, but about standing faithfully. You've learned that some battles are not meant to destroy you, but to reveal you. Do you remember the moment you almost quit? When you thought, "This is too much, I can't keep going." And yet, you did. You took one more step. You chose to believe one more time. And that single act of faith tilted the outcome in your favor. I saw it. Heaven saw it. And the enemy saw it and trembled. Because he knows now you cannot be bought, distracted, or intimidated out of your destiny. This is why I am moving things rapidly in this season. What took years before will now happen in months. What felt impossible will suddenly become obvious. You will not have to strain to make it happen. You will simply walk into what I have prepared. But hear me, this acceleration is not for show. It is for assignment. The influence I'm giving you is not for you to collect applause, but for you to release hope. Your life will speak louder than your words. People will see what I've done for you and realize I can do it for them too. And that is the kind of testimony that changes generations. I changed my mind about you because you let the fire refine you instead of define you. You let me strip away the old so I could clothe you in the new. Now, the season of always fighting is giving way to the season of finally receiving.
Your hands, once clenched in battle, will now be open in blessing. And you'll find that I'm not just restoring what you lost, I'm giving you joy in places you never thought could hold it again. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of the chapter you've been waiting your whole life to live. God says, "You thought you were disqualified, but I was just qualifying you in secret." There were moments you looked at your past and thought, "How could God ever use me after all that?" You believed the enemy's lie that your mistakes had erased your calling. But what you didn't know is this: I was never looking for perfection. I was looking for surrender. And I've changed my mind about you because you stopped trying to earn my love and started living from it. You stopped hiding your scars and started letting them tell the story of my grace. That is what makes you dangerous to the enemy now. You no longer carry shame. What used to silence you has become the very thing that gives you a voice. You can walk into any room, look into any face, and say, "I know what God can do because I've lived it." Your past didn't cancel your destiny. It prepared you for it. The pain taught you compassion. The failures taught you wisdom. The losses taught you to value what really matters. And now, I'm bringing you into a season where those lessons will become your greatest assets. I am sending people your way who need what you carry. Not your title, not your resume, but your testimony. Because when you speak, they won't just hear words. They'll feel the weight of someone who's been there and made it through. Do not be afraid to step into the places I'm opening for you now. The enemy will try to remind you of who you used to be. He'll whisper, "You don't belong here." But I say, "You belong here because I put you here." You are walking into rooms that require boldness. You will sit at tables you once only dreamed about. And you will realize, I didn't just restore you, I upgraded you. The authority you now carry did not come cheaply. It was forged in the fire, and that's why it will last. So lift your eyes, my child. You are not the same as you were. You are qualified, chosen, and sent. And soon, the world will see what I've been saying over you all along. You are mine, and I have a plan for you that cannot be stopped. God says, "This is the part
where everything begins to make sense. You have walked through fire and rain. You've endured seasons that broke others, but built you. You've stood when standing felt impossible. And now, it is time. I've changed my mind about you because you've proven that I can trust you with what's next. Not because you never stumbled, but because every time you fell, you reached for my hand instead of running from it. You have learned what many never do, that my presence is worth more than any position, that my voice is worth more than the approval of the crowd, and that my timing is worth more than your timeline. This is why I am about to release things into your life you once thought you'd missed forever. Opportunities that bypass the rules, blessings that arrive ahead of schedule, restoration that comes with interest. I am turning what was once your deepest wound into your strongest weapon. The story you thought disqualified you will be the one that opens doors. The pain that almost destroyed you will be the very thing that launches you. But remember this, when I lift you, stay low before me. When I bless you, stay generous. When I position you, keep your eyes on the one who placed you there.
God says, "You've entered a season where my yes over your life will drown out every no you've ever heard." For years, you've battled rejection, not just from people, but from places and opportunities you thought were meant for you. You've walked away from closed doors, feeling like maybe you were the problem. You've second-guessed your gifts. You've questioned your worth. But today, I need you to hear me. Those no's weren't punishment. They were protection. If I had allowed you into certain rooms too soon, the weight of those spaces would have crushed you. If I had given you certain relationships when you still carried the wounds of the past, they would have reopened every scar. If I had placed you in positions you weren't ready for, you would have mistaken the opportunity for the calling and lost sight of me. I changed my mind about you because you stopped chasing what was not chasing me. You stopped begging for access to places where my presence wasn't welcome. You stopped measuring your value by who accepted you and started measuring it by what I've said about you from the beginning. This shift in your heart is what positioned you for what's coming next. You're not walking into the same kind of favor others chase after. You're walking into favor that finds you. The season of divine appointments. In the days ahead, there will be moments you didn't plan that change everything. Casual conversations that lead to life-changing connections. Small opportunities that become open doors to bigger ones. Unexpected encounters that align perfectly with what I've been preparing you for. You will know they are from me because they will come without striving. You will not have to manipulate your way into them. You will not have to beg for someone to notice you. You will simply be in the right place at the right time because I ordered your steps there. Understand this. When I say I've changed my mind about you, it's not that I've altered my original plan. It's that I'm shifting the timing of that plan. I'm accelerating what I once held back because your heart posture has caught up to your destiny. This acceleration will be both exciting and uncomfortable. Exciting because doors will swing open quickly. Uncomfortable because you will be tempted to doubt you belong inside them. But hear me, you belong because I put you there. Do not apologize for the way I bless you. Do not try to make yourself smaller so others don't feel intimidated. Do not pretend the promotion wasn't my hand just to avoid conversations. Walk in boldly, not because you earned it in your own strength, but because you carry the authority of the one who sent you. The shifting of relationships. As I elevate you, understand that not everyone can go where you're going. There will be people who once celebrated you, who will now question you. There will be voices that once encouraged you, that will now grow silent. Some of this will hurt, but it is necessary. I am removing people who only saw you as a project, not a partner. I am protecting you from connections that would drain you in this next season. And I am sending people who will speak life into you, stand with you in prayer, and protect what I'm building through you. When the shifting happens, resist the urge to cling to what is familiar. The familiar can become a trap if it keeps you from stepping into the new. Trust that I see the entire map while you only see the path right in front of you. The rise of your voice. I'm giving you a voice that carries weight, not just in conversations, but in atmospheres. When you speak, it will cut through noise and confusion. People will listen, not because you're louder, but because your words will carry the evidence of someone who's been with me. This is why I took you through seasons of silence, to teach you to listen before you speak, to strip away the need to impress so that when you open your mouth, you release truth, not performance. Your words will build, heal, and unlock faith in others, but this gift will require discipline. You must learn when to speak and when to stay silent. You must allow me to lead your conversations so they carry my authority, not your emotions. The reversal of the verdict. There are things spoken over you by people, by systems, by the enemy himself that have limited how you've seen yourself. They called you unqualified. They labeled you as difficult. They said you missed your chance. But I am reversing the verdict. What they said you couldn't do, you will do. Where they said you couldn't go, you will go. What they said you could never have, you will hold in your hands. This reversal will not be subtle. It will be public. Not to embarrass anyone, but to make it clear, I have the final say over your life. And when I say it's time, it's time. The call to steward well. Blessing is not just about receiving, it's about managing well what you've been given. As I open these new doors, I will give you strategies to sustain what I give you. I will show you how to multiply resources. I will send mentors to guide you through uncharted territory. Your job will be to listen closely, move quickly when I prompt you, and guard your heart from distraction. Not every opportunity will be from me. Some will be counterfeit, shiny on the outside, but empty inside. This is why you must keep me at the center of every decision. The evidence will speak. You won't have to convince anyone of what I'm doing. The evidence will speak. Your joy will speak. Your peace will speak. Your progress will speak. And even your quiet will speak, because the change in your life will be undeniable. People who once doubted you will come asking how it happened, and you will tell them, it was God. He changed his mind about me. But deep down, you'll know the truth. It wasn't that I suddenly decided to favor you. It was that you finally stepped into alignment with what I'd been waiting to give you all along. The promise moving forward. This is not a short season. This is a pivot. From this point forward, your life will carry a different rhythm. You will walk with a confidence that isn't arrogance, but assurance. You will love without fear of loss. You will give without fear of lack. You will move without fear of failure.
because you will know if I have placed you somewhere, nothing can remove you before its time. If I have put something in your hands, no one can take it unless I allow it for something greater. You've crossed a line you can't uncross, the line where your faith has moved from hoping I can to knowing I will. And as you walk forward, remember this: what's ahead will require you to stay close, not because I might change my mind again, but because intimacy is what will keep you steady when the pace accelerates. I have so much more to show you, so much more to give you, so much more to do through you. The story isn't over. It's barely begun.
God says, "This is the chapter where I make the invisible visible." For so long, you've carried promises in your heart that no one else could see. You've walked with visions I gave you that seemed impossible in the eyes of others. You've prayed over dreams that felt too big for your hands to hold. And I know there were days when even you began to wonder if you'd heard me correctly, when the delay felt like a denial, when the lack of movement tempted you to believe that maybe the dream wasn't real after all. But I tell you today, the wait was not wasted. The silence was not abandonment. The stillness was not emptiness. It was construction. While you thought nothing was happening, I was building inside you, around you, ahead of you. I was laying foundations that no man can shake. I was aligning resources and relationships that will meet you at the appointed time. I was shaping you into someone who could carry the weight of what you've been asking for without it breaking you. I changed my mind about you because you learned to trust me when you couldn't trace me. You learned to worship with empty hands. You learned to believe in the dark. And now, I am bringing light to what you've been carrying in secret. The unveiling season. In this season, you will begin to see the things I've been whispering to you take form in the physical. Opportunities will appear that confirm the words I've spoken over you. People you've never met will affirm the dreams you've been protecting. You will find yourself standing in places you once only prayed about. And when it happens, it won't feel like a surprise. It will feel like recognition. You'll know, this is what he was preparing me for all along. But hear me, with this unveiling comes responsibility. Not everything I reveal to you is for public display right away. Some things will be for your eyes only until the right moment. Guard what I give you until it's ready to be released. Why I held it back until now? There were seasons where you thought, "I'm ready, God. Why are you holding me back?" But readiness is more than desire. Readiness is about capacity. And I needed to enlarge your capacity before I released the blessing. If I had given you what you asked for too soon, you would have tried to carry it alone. You would have poured it into places that could not hold it. You would have exhausted yourself trying to keep it alive without the right support around you. Now, your faith is stronger. Your discernment is sharper. Your roots are deeper. You can handle what I'm about to release because you know where it comes from and you know where it must be returned. The shift in your identity. I am calling you to stop identifying yourself by your past battles. Yes, those battles shaped you. Yes, those scars taught you wisdom, but you are not defined by them anymore. You are no longer the one who went through. You are the one who came out. The enemy would love to keep you rehearsing the old narrative, the one where you barely made it, the one where you were always fighting to survive. But I say, this is not a survival season. This is a thriving season. You are not walking into this new chapter limping. You are walking in with strength,
clarity and authority. The multiplication principle. I am not just returning what was stolen. I am multiplying it. Every seed you planted in faith, every prayer, every act of obedience, every time you gave when you barely had enough, those seeds are now reaching harvest. You've sown in tears and you will reap in joy. And your harvest will not be a small one. It will be pressed down, shaken together, and running over. But you must remember, the harvest is not just for you. It is for those I will send you to. You will become a resource, a carrier of provision, a living testimony that I still do miracles. How to walk in what's coming. Stay anchored. Blessings can be just as dangerous as battles if they pull you away from me. Keep me at the center. Guard your peace. Not everyone will celebrate what I'm doing in you. Protect your atmosphere from voices that drain your focus. Move in obedience. Some doors will require you to act quickly. When I say go, go. Delay can cost you positioning. Remain humble. The greater the blessing, the greater the call to humility. Remember, this is about my glory, not your spotlight. The evidence will be undeniable. In the coming months, the change in your life will be so visible that you won't have to explain yourself to anyone. The way you carry yourself will shift. The peace on your face will speak. The joy in your words will testify. The fruit in your hands will prove what I've been doing all along. People who once dismissed you will have to acknowledge my hand on your life. Some will ask for advice. Others will seek to reconnect. Be wise. Not every open hand is meant to be taken. The overflow effect. What I'm releasing in you will spill into every area of your life. Your relationships will feel the shift. Your finances will reflect the shift. Your health will experience renewal. Even the way you think will be transformed. You will no longer operate from a place of lack, but from a place of overflow. You won't just have enough. You will have more than enough to pour into others. The unstoppable forward motion. This time, you won't go back. The doors I'm opening will stay open until their purpose is fulfilled. The ground you've gained will not be lost, and the confidence you've found in me will anchor you in every new territory. I've changed my mind about you because you've proven that you won't worship the gift more than the giver. You've proven that you can be trusted with more, and now I will give you more. Not just for your sake, but for the sake of the people connected to your obedience. So step forward, my child. This is the moment where what was once invisible becomes undeniable. And when it does, you will know it was worth every single step of the journey.
God says, I am about to take you from hidden to highlighted. For years, you've been faithful in the quiet. You've served without applause. You've built without recognition. You've prayed without immediate answers. And I've watched. Every small act of obedience you thought went unnoticed was written into my record. Every time you chose to honor me when no one else was watching became a seed in the soil of your destiny. Now, the roots have grown deep enough to hold what's coming. It's time for what was planted in secret to break through the surface. I've changed my mind about you because you stopped asking me to rush the process. You stopped trying to force doors open and started letting me choose the timing. You've proven that you'd rather have a blessing in season than a shortcut out of season. And that maturity has moved you into this next phase. the shift from hidden to seen. This shift will not be gradual, it will be noticeable. One moment it will seem like everything is the same, and the next opportunities will come all at once. This is not coincidence, it's orchestration. I have been aligning voices to speak your name in the right rooms, aligning hands to hold the keys to doors you will soon walk through. The suddenness will feel overwhelming at first. You will go from asking when to how will I handle all of this? But do not fear. I have already given you the grace to manage what's on the way. The weight of favor. Favor is not just about open doors, it's about stewardship. The more I entrust to you, the more I call you to protect it. This means there will be decisions that others won't understand. You will say no to good things because they're not God things. You will turn down opportunities that look big because they're not built for your assignment. And you will walk away from people who seem harmless because I've shown you their heart. Do not apologize for guarding what I give you. The enemy doesn't have to take your blessing if he can distract you from it. The end of the proving season. For a long time, you felt like you had to prove yourself, prove your worth, prove your ability, prove your calling. But I tell you now, that season is over. The evidence of my hand on your life will speak louder than any defense you could give. You will no longer feel the need to convince anyone of what I've spoken over you. You will simply walk it out, and they will see. And for those who still doubt, leave them to me. You have nothing to prove when the one who called you has already approved you. The protection in the process. As I lift you, I will also protect you. There are platforms that look appealing but carry hidden traps. There are connections that seem powerful but are rooted in pride. This is why I will give you a heightened sense of discernment. You will see beyond what people say into what their spirit carries. You will feel the weight of atmospheres the moment you step into them. And when I say leave, you will leave. No explanation required. This is not paranoia, it's protection. You will not waste time in rooms that are not meant for you. Restoration beyond expectation. Some things you thought were gone for good are making their way back to you, but in better form than they left. Relationships will be restored with maturity and mutual respect. Opportunities will return with greater alignment. Even dreams you laid down because they seemed impossible will be picked up again, this time with resources and clarity. I'm not just restoring for the sake of giving back. I'm restoring because it still serves your future. Your story will become someone else's lifeline. What you've walked through wasn't just for you. The victories you fought for will be the very encouragement someone else needs to keep going. You will find yourself speaking into the lives of people you never thought you'd reach. And they will listen because your words are not theory, they are testimony. This is why the battle was so fierce. The enemy wasn't just trying to stop you, he was trying to silence the voice that would free others. But you're still here. And because you're still here, others will be too. Walking in unshakable confidence. This new chapter requires a different version of you. Not arrogant, not prideful, but sure. Sure of who I am in you. Sure of what I've placed in your hands. Sure of where I'm leading you. There will be moments where the enemy whispers, "You don't belong here." And you will answer, "I belong here because God placed me here." No more second guessing. No more playing small, no more apologizing for being chosen. My promise over you will not fail. Every word I've spoken over your life is still active. Every promise is still alive. The delays did not cancel my plans. They prepared you for them. And now, you are about to see with your eyes what you have believed in your heart for so long. Walk forward, my child. Your hidden season has served its purpose. The unveiling has begun.
God says, "You thought I was holding you back, but I was holding you together." There were moments when the weight felt unbearable, when you stared at the ceiling in the middle of the night asking, "God, why is it taking so long?" When you looked at your life and thought, "I should be further along by now." But I want you to understand this. I wasn't keeping you from moving forward. I was making sure you didn't fall apart along the way. You see, the blessing I am bringing is not light. It is weighty. It requires a frame that won't crack under pressure. And so while you were counting the days, I was counting the cracks, mending what was broken, reinforcing what was weak, building the kind of strength in you that could only come from fire. The fire that refined you. Every trial you walked through, yes, even the ones you prayed to escape, was a refining fire. It burned away pride. It burned away fear. It burned away the need for approval. I know you didn't enjoy it. I know you wondered if I had forgotten you in the flames. But the truth is, I was right there, turning up the heat only enough to remove what would have destroyed you later. When gold is refined, the impurities rise to the surface. That's what happened in your life. The anger, the impatience, the self-doubt, they came up not to shame you, but so I could skim them away. And what is left is purer than before. Why I waited. You've asked me before, "Lord, why didn't you just bless me when I first asked?" Because then you would have thought the blessing was the source of your strength. Now you know, I am. Back then, your identity was tangled in what people thought of you. Now your identity is anchored in what I've spoken over you. Back then, you would have clung to the blessing out of fear of losing it. Now you will hold it loosely, knowing the giver is greater than the gift. I've changed my mind about you because you've changed my mind about me. You no longer see me as the one who simply answers prayers. You see me as the one who shapes you in the waiting. The doors ahead. You are about to walk into spaces you once thought were too big for you. Rooms filled with voices that carry influence. Tables where decisions are made that shape futures. And you will not walk in timidly. You will walk in with quiet confidence because you know you did not put yourself there. Some of these doors won't even require you to knock. They will swing open at the exact moment you arrive. And when you step through, you will feel a peace that says, "I belong here." That peace will be your confirmation. The reversal of the enemy's plans. Do you remember the moments where you felt like everything was being taken from you? The days when the losses piled up so high you wondered how you'd survive? The enemy thought those moments would break you, but instead, they built you. What was meant to bury you only planted you deeper. Now, the same God who allowed the pruning is bringing the harvest. What was stolen will be returned multiplied. What was shut down will be resurrected. What was silenced will be amplified. The enemy's plans have not just failed, they've been flipped, and the areas where you were attacked the most will become the areas where you carry the most authority. Your new you cannot be ignored. People will notice the change before you even speak. Your presence will carry a weight they can't explain. Your words will have a depth they didn't before. Your peace will feel unshakable. Some will be drawn to it. Some will be threatened by it. And that's okay. Your worth is not measured by who stays or who leaves. Those who are meant to walk with you in this season will see your growth and celebrate it. Those who cannot will fade away.
neither will stop what I am doing. Your assignment is bigger than you think. I did not prepare you just for your own breakthrough. Your story is a key for others. Your testimony is a map for those still lost in the storm you've already come through. There are people you have not yet met whose deliverance will be tied to your obedience. Some will hear your words and find hope for the first time in years. Others will watch your life and decide that maybe, just maybe, God hasn't forgotten them either. That is why I needed to take my time with you. Because when I send you out, you won't just inspire, you'll ignite. Living in the overflow. This next chapter is not survival. It's not scraping by. It's not wondering how you'll make it. This is overflow. This is more than enough. This is the season where your cup runs over and blesses those around you. Your finances will reflect it. Your relationships will reflect it. Even your health will reflect it. The stress that once kept you awake will lose its grip. The fear that once paralyzed you will fade into the background, and you will find yourself breathing deeper, walking lighter, and smiling more. My final word over this season. You have been faithful in the unseen. You have trusted me in the unknown, and now I will make my work in you visible for the world to see. Not to put you on display, but to put my goodness on display through you. This is the moment where the prayers you whispered in the dark become the testimonies you will shout in the light. This is the moment where the waiting ends and the walking begins. And as you step forward, remember this: I am not just giving you what you asked for, I am giving you what you didn't even know to ask for. Stay close, stay ready, stay willing, because I have changed my mind about you, and the best is not coming, it's here.
God says, "You thought the chapter was closing, but I was only turning the page." I know there were moments when it felt like everything was ending, when relationships dissolved, when doors slammed shut, when opportunities slipped away before you could grasp them. You whispered to yourself, "This must be the end of my story." But I want you to hear me now. It was not an ending. It was a transition into something more, a transition into something higher, a transition into the part of the story where the pieces start to make sense. I've changed my mind about you because you've shown me that you're willing to let go of what you thought you needed to receive what I know you need. The closing that wasn't a loss. Some of the things you've cried over were not losses, they were rescues. You thought I was taking away something good, but I was actually removing what would have drained the very life from you. You didn't see it then. You couldn't. But in time, you will look back and say, "Thank you, Lord, for not letting me settle there." Every no was a redirection. Every delay was an act of mercy. Every goodbye was a hidden blessing. The construction in the silence. You mistook my silence for absence, but I was there in every quiet moment, laying bricks in the foundation of your destiny. I was building strength in your spirit. I was teaching you the kind of patience that can't be shaken by sudden storms. I was shaping your heart so that when I poured out the blessing, you would have the wisdom to sustain it. That's why I've changed my mind about you, because you didn't let the silence push you away. Instead, you leaned in closer. You stayed in the conversation even when you didn't hear an answer. The weight of what's coming. What's ahead of you isn't light. It's not small. It's not ordinary. It's heavy with purpose. It's rich with influence.
It's packed with opportunities that will stretch you and bless you all at once. This is why the road here was so intense, because the assignment on your life is intense. And now, because you've endured the process, you are ready to handle the weight without it breaking you. The rise of your authority. I am giving you a new level of authority, not the kind that demands attention, but the kind that draws it naturally. Your voice will carry weight. Your presence will shift atmospheres. Your prayers will break chains. People will seek you out, not because you're the loudest, but because you carry something that can't be manufactured, my presence. And that presence will open doors that no resume ever could. Restoration in layers. The restoration I'm bringing isn't just about replacing what was lost. It's layered, it's deeper, it's richer. I'm restoring your confidence. I'm restoring your joy for the future. And yes, I'm restoring the opportunities, resources, and relationships that align with where you're going. But they're coming back different, purified, elevated, and infused with my purpose. The people you will meet. You are about to encounter people who have been praying for someone like you. They won't see your past. They won't question your worth. They will recognize what I've placed in you and partner with it. These will be divine alignments, strategic connections that will accelerate your mission. When you meet them, you will know instantly that they are part of the story I've been writing for you. The enemy's mistake. The enemy thought you had you when you were at your lowest. He thought the pressure would crush you. He thought the loss would silence you. He thought the betrayal would make you bitter. But you got back up. You kept praying. You kept believing. And that resilience has marked you in heaven. Now, the very areas where you were attacked the hardest will become your strongest testimony. The enemy's mistake was leaving you alive, because a survivor with a testimony is more dangerous than anything he can plan. The overflow for others. The blessing coming to you is not just for you. It's for every person connected to your obedience. It's for the ones watching you silently, wondering if God still moves. When they see your breakthrough, they'll find faith again. When they hear your story, they'll believe it can happen for them too. That's why I couldn't release it until now, because now you understand that your life is not just about your own comfort. It's about kingdom impact. Living without fear of loss. You've lived enough life to know that not everything lasts forever. But in this season, I want you to know this. What I'm giving you now is protected. It won't be stolen. It won't be sabotaged. It won't slip through your fingers. You will no longer live bracing for the worst. You will live expecting my best. This is just the beginning. I've changed my mind about you, but not because I ever stopped loving you. I've changed my mind about the timing, about the scale, about the pace. I am moving faster now. I am releasing more now. I am trusting you with greater now. And this is just the start. You've stepped into a momentum that won't stop until every promise I've spoken over your life comes to pass. So breathe deep, lift your head, walk boldly, because the page has turned and the story is about to get even better.
God says, "You thought the waiting was wasted, but I was weaving." For a long time, you have carried the weight of unanswered prayers. You've looked at other people moving forward, doors opening for them, while you remained in what felt like the same place. You've asked me, "Lord, did I miss it? Did I take a wrong turn? Did I disqualify myself?" Hear me clearly. No, you didn't miss it. You didn't lose it. You didn't ruin it. I was weaving. I was taking the loose threads of your life some frayed, some tangled, some broken, and intertwining them into a pattern you could not yet see. The reason the season felt slow is because I was building something intricate, not something temporary. And intricate takes time. The pattern you couldn't see. When you hold a tapestry in your hands, one side is beautiful, the colors blending into a clear image. The other side looks messy, knots, uneven threads, pieces that seem out of place. This is how you felt about your journey. From your view, it has looked messy, but from my view, it's always been a masterpiece in the making. I changed my mind about you because you stopped demanding to see the whole picture and started trusting me with the unseen stitches. You've learned to rest even when the pattern doesn't make sense. Why the wait was mercy? You thought the wait was punishment, but it was mercy. If I had given you what you were praying for when you first asked, it would have overwhelmed you. It would have drained you instead of blessed you. I wasn't saying no to the dream. I was saying not yet to the version of you that was still healing. Now, you are different. You are stronger. You are more anchored. You no longer chase things that pull you away from me. You no longer measure success by applause. You no longer mistake movement for progress. The acceleration after the stillness. Because of this, the pace is about to shift. What felt stuck will begin to move quickly. Conversations will happen suddenly. Opportunities will find you without warning. Do not be afraid of this acceleration. It is the fulfillment of the time you have already invested in preparation. The quiet was not inactivity, it was setup. The exchange in your hands. I am taking the burdens you've carried and replacing them with blessings you can carry with joy. The hands that once clenched in desperation will now open in generosity. The tears you sowed will become seeds that produce harvest for others. This is why the change in you matters. Because what I place in your hands next is not just for you. It's for those whose prayers are tied to your obedience. The rooms you will enter. There are rooms you thought you'd never see. Tables where decisions are made. Spaces where influence flows. And yet, your name has already been spoken there. I have prepared people who will welcome you, not because of what you can do for them, but because they recognize what I have placed inside you. When you walk in, you will not feel like an outsider. You will feel like you have been prepared for that exact moment, because you have. The reversal of old labels, the names you've been called, the reputations you've carried, the misconceptions about you, I am reversing them. Where you were once called unreliable, you will be seen as trustworthy. Where you were once overlooked, you will be sought after. Where you were once doubted, you will be celebrated. This reversal is not about vindication for your ego. It's about validation for my promise. It will be clear that I have been writing your story all along. The guardrails of the season. As I release more into your life, I will also protect you. Not everyone will be able to access you like they used to. Not every invitation will be for you to accept. I will give you discernment so sharp that you will sense danger before it arrives. You will feel the weight of my warning when something is not for you. Obey quickly, and you will avoid unnecessary battles. Remember, sometimes my no is the greatest protection I can give you. The strength you didn't realize you had. You've looked back on certain seasons and thought, how did I survive that? The answer is simple. I was with you. Every step, every sleepless night, every heavy day. I was strengthening you quietly while you thought you were just enduring. And now the resilience I've built in you will carry you through opportunities that others would crumble under. Your voice in this season. I am placing your voice in the ears of those who need to hear it.
Not everyone will understand your story, but those who need it will be changed by it. Some will hear you and finally believe they can make it too. Others will hear you and turn their hearts back to me. Your story will be the bridge someone else walks across to get to hope. That is why it mattered that you stayed faithful through the long nights. The joy returning to you. This is the part where laughter comes back, where you wake up with anticipation instead of dread, where the heaviness you've carried for years finally lifts and you find yourself smiling without having to force it. I am not just restoring your circumstances, I am restoring your joy, because joy is not a luxury for you, it's your strength for what's next. The proof will be unmistakable. People will see the shift and ask, "What happened?" You won't need to list every detail. You'll simply say, "God changed his mind about me." But deep in your heart, you'll know the truth. I didn't just change my mind, I brought you into alignment with my heart. And that alignment is producing what you once thought was impossible. Walking into the more. So, my child, lift your head. You've been through the season of hidden work. You've endured the refining. You've surrendered the timelines. Now you will see the fruit. You will hold the promise. You will walk in the more. And this time, you won't have to fight to keep it. It will remain because it is rooted in me.
God says, "You thought you were behind, but you're right on time." I know how many times you've compared your journey to others. How often you've looked at their progress, their milestones, and wondered, why am I not there yet? How you felt the sting of birthdays and calendar years passing without certain prayers being answered. You've whispered in frustration, "Lord, did I miss my season?" And I'm here to tell you, no, you are exactly where you need to be. The delays were never detours, they were design. I wasn't slowing you down to punish you, I was pacing you to protect you. The danger of arriving too soon. There is such a thing as being early. If I had given you what you wanted before you were ready, it would have been a blessing that felt like a burden. It would have crushed instead of crowned. It would have drained instead of developed. But now, I've built the foundation in you to carry it, the character to sustain it, the discernment to protect it. I've changed my mind about you because you've shown me that you value my timing over your own calendar. You've learned to wait without walking away. The rewriting of your story. You've believed certain labels for so long that they've started to feel like truth. Late bloomer, missed my chance, always catching up. But I am rewriting the narrative. You will no longer be known for the time it took. You will be known for the impact you make. And when the acceleration comes, it will redeem every moment you thought was wasted. You will step into opportunities that make up for the years in a matter of months. You will see more doors open in a season than in the past decade combined. The strength found in the shadows. While you were hidden, you were being strengthened. The world saw stillness. Heaven saw training. You learned skills you didn't know you'd need. You developed habits that will now keep you grounded. You deepened your faith until it became unshakable. That's why when the spotlight turns toward you, you won't be blinded by it. You'll carry yourself with grace because you didn't rush to get there. You'll know the value of every opportunity because you paid for it with patience. The quiet yeses that changed everything. It wasn't the big dramatic moments that qualified you, it was the quiet ones. The days you got back up when no one was cheering, the prayers you whispered when you felt nothing, the times you obeyed even when it cost you. Heaven recorded every single one. Those yeses have stacked up into a weight of glory that will now be revealed. The coming flood of favor. When my timing aligns with your readiness, Favor floods like a flood. It doesn't trickle, it rushes in. It comes through unexpected calls, surprise invitations, divine connections. It places you in rooms you never campaigned to be in. It surrounds you with people who carry keys you didn't even know you needed. This flood is not random. It's a release that has been building for years. The guardrails that will keep you. With acceleration comes the temptation to run ahead of me. That's why I will surround you with wisdom in this season. Mentors, godly friends, and divine warnings will keep you on course. Listen to them. Not every open door will be for you. Some will be distractions disguised as opportunities. Discernment will be your greatest safeguard. Don't ignore it. Your voice in this season. The authority I'm giving you is not about volume, it's about weight. When you speak, atmospheres will shift. When you pray, strongholds will break. When you tell your story, hope will rise in others. You will find that people start seeking you out not for what you can do for them, but for the peace you carry. The redemption of time. You've thought, even if the blessing comes now, I've lost too much time. But I am the redeemer of time. What takes others years will take you months. Where others plant and wait, you will plant and see quick harvest. This is not about cutting corners, it's about divine acceleration. I will restore so fully that you will forget the sting of delay. The mark of this new season. This season will be marked by 3 things. Unshakable peace. Storms may come, but they won't move you. Uncommon opportunities. Doors will open that logic can't explain. Undeniable fruit. Your life will bear evidence that I have been with you. These will be your signs that the shift has truly happened. The call to walk boldly. Now that I've changed my mind about you, you must change the way you walk. No more shrinking back. No more apologizing for being chosen. No more disqualifying yourself in your own head. You are stepping into places I've prepared for you long before you knew they existed, and you belong there, not because you earned it, but because I sent you. The final word over this chapter. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are perfectly positioned for what's next. And what's next will happen so swiftly, so beautifully, so undeniably that you will look back and realize the wait was worth every moment. So step forward, my child. The time you thought you lost is about to bow to the God who redeems it all.
God says, "You thought the season of change was over, but I have only just begun. I know you feel like you've already been through so much, the stretching, the refining, the letting go, and maybe you thought the last shift was the final one. But I am telling you now, this next turn is bigger than you think. It's not just a change of scenery, it's a change of identity, a change of influence, a change of assignment." The deep work below the surface. Do you remember the years when it felt like nothing was moving? When you kept showing up in faith, but the results didn't match the effort? When the ground looked dry no matter how much you watered it? Those were the years when I was working below the surface. Like a seed buried deep in the soil, you couldn't see the roots growing, but they were there. I made sure your roots went deep enough so that when the growth came, the weight of the fruit wouldn't topple you over. Every moment of hiddenness, every tear sown in secret, every choice to stay when it would have been easier to walk away, it all became nourishment for the roots. That's why when you step into what's next, you won't just rise quickly, you'll stay. The fear of moving forward. I see the part of you that hesitates, that thinks,
What if I step out and fail? What if I'm not as ready as I think? But here's the truth. You're not stepping forward because you're fearless. You're stepping forward because you've learned to trust me more than your fear. Courage is not the absence of trembling. It's choosing to move while trembling. And that's what you've been doing all along, even when you didn't give yourself credit for it. That's why I've changed my mind about the pace of your life, because you've proven that even with shaking hands, you'll still hold on to me. The season of unveiling. In the months ahead, you'll see pieces of your story that never made sense start to fit together. You'll meet people and realize, this is why I went through that season. You'll receive opportunities and understand, this is why the door I wanted stayed closed. It won't feel random, it will feel orchestrated, like a song that's been playing quietly in the background, suddenly turned up loud enough for you to recognize the melody. I am unveiling not just the blessings, but the meaning. I'm letting you see the thread that's been running through your life all along, the one that ties pain to purpose, loss to learning, delay to destiny. The enemies you won't have to fight. There are battles you've been preparing for in your mind, confrontations, explanations, proving yourself to people who doubted you. But in this season, I will handle some of those enemies without you lifting a finger. You'll watch me remove obstacles quietly, shift people out of your way without chaos, silence accusations without you having to defend yourself. Because your energy is too valuable to waste on battles that don't build. The space you must make. I am about to place something in your life so big, so significant, that you'll need to make room for it. That may mean clearing your schedule. That may mean releasing certain commitments. That may mean saying no to things that feel good but aren't God. If your hands are already full, where will you hold the new? This is the time to release so you can receive. The people assigned to your next season. Not everyone who's been with you can go with you. Some were for a chapter, some were for a page, and some were only meant to walk you to a certain door. I know it's hard to let go, but letting go doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means you stop limiting yourself to the size of the space they're willing to grow in. In the next season, I will bring people who don't just tolerate your growth, they will accelerate it. They will call out the version of you I've been shaping in private. They will celebrate your wins without feeling threatened. These relationships will feel light, safe, mutually strengthening. The overflow effect. What I'm about to release in your life won't just bless you, it will overflow into the lives of those connected to you. Your household will feel it. Your family will feel it. Even those who once doubted you will see it and be drawn to me because of it. This overflow will change atmospheres. It will break cycles. It will open doors for the next generation in your bloodline. Your story will become a sign. People will look at your life and know, if God did it for them, He can do it for me. That's why the process was so long, because what He's building in you has to be undeniable. It can't be explained away by luck or coincidence. When they ask how it happened, you'll point back to me. And that's how I'll use your story to draw hearts toward mine. The invitation to boldness. You have permission to walk in boldness now. No more apologizing for being chosen. No more shrinking so others feel comfortable.
No more hiding the light I've placed inside you. I'm not just blessing you privately, I'm positioning you publicly. And when I place you there, walk in as if you belong, because you do. The promise that anchors you. Here is what you can hold on to. I will not bring you this far just to leave you. I will not open the door just to watch you struggle on the other side. I will not give you a platform and then let it crush you. Everything I release into your life now is sustainable because it's rooted in what we've built together in the secret place. So lift your head, take a deep breath, step forward without hesitation. This is the season where almost turns into now, where someday turns into today, where if it's God's will turns into look at what God did. I've changed my mind about you, and I am not done yet.
God says, "You thought the promise was delayed, but I have been preparing the ground. I know you've been wondering why certain things have taken so long. You've looked at others moving forward, doors opening for them, and thought, 'Lord, did I miss my moment?' You've questioned if you prayed wrong, if you didn't have enough faith, if you somehow failed the test without even realizing it. But hear me, I am the God who knows when the soil is ready for the seed, and I refuse to plant what I've promised you in ground that can't hold it. The soil had to change first. If I had released the blessing before the soil was ready, it would have sprouted fast, but died just as quickly. You might have celebrated in the moment, but the roots wouldn't have been deep enough to last through the storm. So while you thought nothing was happening, I was tilling the ground, breaking up the hardened places, removing the stones of distraction and the weeds of doubt. That's why I've changed my mind about you now, because the ground of your heart is ready. And what I plant next will not just survive, it will thrive. The signs of readiness. You've learned to wait without bitterness. You've learned to give without fear of lack. You've learned to obey even when the reward wasn't instant. These are the signs I've been looking for, because if you can be faithful with little, I know you'll be faithful with much. This is why the pace is shifting now. You're not just entering a season of receiving, you're entering a season of multiplying. The unexpected ways I will answer. Some prayers will be answered in ways you didn't expect. It won't always be through the path you imagined. I may close one door, but open another that leads to the same promise, only faster, better, and with less strain. So don't resist when the answer looks different than the request. If it's from me, it will bring peace. It will align with my word, and it will fit without force. The acceleration you're about to see. Things that once took years will now take months. Relationships that once took years to build will form in days. Provision that once came little by little will arrive in abundance. This is not because you've suddenly become more worthy. It's because I've been storing it up for the right moment, and now the moment has come. The years you thought were wasted were actually years of accumulation, and now the storehouse is opening. The people who will witness it. There are people who have watched your journey from a distance. Some have cheered for you. Some have doubted you. Some have judged you without knowing your full story. I'm not blessing you to prove them wrong, but I will bless you in such a way that even they will have to acknowledge my hand on your life. And when they ask, "How did this happen for you?" you will point to me and say, "It was God, and He never left me."
the release from old battles. You've fought some battles for so long that they've started to feel like part of your life. But I say to you now, some of those battles are ending permanently. The cycle is breaking. The weight is lifting. The chapter of constant warfare is giving way to a chapter of rest and rebuilding. The responsibility of this new season. Yes, I'm releasing more into your hands, but with more comes responsibility. You will be a steward of influence, a steward of resources, a steward of opportunities. This means guarding your time, protecting your atmosphere, and saying more no than you say yes. Not every request will deserve your attention. Not every invitation will deserve your presence. You will have to choose wisely to protect what I've entrusted to you. The blessing that will spill over. I am blessing you in a way that will spill over into every area of your life. Your family will feel it. Your friendships will feel it. Even your health will feel the effect of this new peace and provision. You will walk lighter. You will sleep deeper. You will live freer. Why you can trust this moment? You've been here before, on the edge of breakthrough, and maybe it fell through. Maybe it was snatched away. Maybe it wasn't what you thought it would be. But this time is different. This time, the blessing is built on the foundation we've laid together. This time, you're not walking into it alone. You're walking into it with me. And if I'm in it, it will last. The final word over this season. My child, I've changed my mind about you because you've changed your posture toward me. You no longer chase me for things. You chase me for me. And that is what positions you for everything I've been holding back until now. So walk into this next season with your head high. This isn't a coincidence. This isn't luck. This is harvest. And the ground you're standing on now, it's the very ground you once prayed for.
God says, this is where the story turns into a testimony. You've walked through chapters that felt endless. You carried weights that seemed unbearable. You faced nights where you didn't know if you'd make it to morning. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still standing, still believing. Not because the journey was easy, but because my hand never left you. The long road was the right road. You've wondered why I didn't take you the shortest way, why the path wound through valleys instead of across mountaintops, why I let you see other people reach their destination faster. But the long road was the right road, because it wasn't just about arriving, it was about becoming. If I had given you the promise without the process, you would have walked into the blessing but remained the same person who started. And the old you could not have carried the new calling. The detours weren't delays, they were development. The pauses weren't punishment, they were preparation. The final break in the chain. There have been chains, some visible, some hidden, that have tried to hold you back. Chains of fear, chains of comparison, chains of feeling unworthy. But in this season, those chains are breaking for good. You will no longer hesitate when I say go. You will no longer shrink when I place you in rooms you once thought were too big for you. You will no longer sabotage blessings because deep down, you didn't believe you deserved them. The break is here, and once it's broken, it cannot be reforged. The wait, what? Moments ahead. There will be moments ahead where you stop and say, wait,
What? Moments where the blessing feels too big to be real, where the pace of change leaves you speechless. A promotion you didn't apply for, a relationship you didn't think was possible, an opportunity that finds you instead of you chasing it. These moments aren't random. They are my way of showing you what happens when heaven decides now. The elevation you didn't see coming. I'm elevating you, not just an influence, but an impact. This is more than a title, more than a position. This is about placing you where your presence changes the atmosphere, where your words carry the authority of someone who's been with me. And here's the truth. The very place you thought was the ceiling is about to become the floor of your next level. The full circle moments. There will be places I take you back to, not to relive the pain, but to show you how far you've come. You'll walk into rooms where you were once overlooked, and you'll be honored. You'll stand before people who once doubted you, and you'll speak with wisdom they can't deny. These full circle moments aren't for revenge, they're for revelation, so you can see with your own eyes what I've been doing in you all along. The blessing that touches every area. I'm not just moving in one part of your life, I'm touching them all. Your relationships will see healing. Your finances will see increase. Your health will see renewal. Your peace will deepen in ways you didn't think possible. It's not a partial restoration, it's total. Nothing will be left untouched by my hand. The responsibility of overflow. Overflow is coming, but overflow requires stewardship. When I fill your cup, it's not just so you can drink, it's so you can pour. Your blessing will become someone else's answered prayer. Your breakthrough will become someone else's hope. I've changed my mind about you because you've proven you can be trusted to give as freely as you receive. The shift in how you see yourself. This is the season where you finally see yourself as I see you. Not through the lens of failure, not through the lens of shame, not through the lens of who left or what broke. You will see yourself as chosen, appointed, anointed. You'll walk differently when you know who you are. You'll speak differently when you know whose you are. The ending that isn't an ending. You may think this is the conclusion, that the breakthrough is the last chapter. But with me, there is no ending, only expansion. Every time you think you've reached the limit of my goodness, I will show you there's more. Every time you think the story is finished, I will write another chapter. This is not the end of your journey. It's the end of your waiting. Now begins the living. The final word I speak over you. My child, you have walked the long road with me. You've trusted me in the dark. You've obeyed when it cost you. You've held on when it would have been easier to let go. And because of that, I have changed my mind about the timing of your life. The doors are opening now. The favor is finding you now. The restoration is starting now. You will not miss it. You will not lose it. You will not go back to what was. This is your moment. So step forward, take possession of the ground I'm giving you, and live as though every promise is already yours, because it is.
God says, You thought the door was closed for good, but I've had the key all along. There are things you walked away from thinking they were gone forever, dreams you buried because the timing felt off, opportunities you thought had passed you by, relationships you assumed would never be restored. You told yourself, that's over, that chapter is done. But I want you to know, some of those very things are about to knock on your door again. Not in the old form, not in the old timing, not with the old challenges, but renewed, redeemed, resurrected. The door that wasn't ready yet. I didn't let you through that door before because it wasn't ready for you, and you weren't ready for it. If I had opened it then, the blessing would have been short-lived. The environment would have drained you instead of feeding you. The opportunity would have distracted you instead of directing you. Now, the door is not only open, it's prepared to receive you. And more importantly, you are prepared to walk through it without losing yourself. The return of what you released. There are dreams you set down willingly because you trusted me enough to let them go. That surrender was a seed, and now it's harvest time. You'll see some of those very visions resurface, but with greater clarity and stronger foundation. What once felt fragile will now feel unshakable. It's not starting over, it's starting further. The people coming back changed. Some people who left your life will return, not all, but some. And the ones who do will be different. They'll come with humility. They'll come with understanding. They'll come aligned with the person you've become. And when they do, you'll know whether they're meant to walk with you again or whether their role was only to remind you how far you've come. The freedom to step fully in. This time you won't hesitate. You won't walk in timidly. You won't spend weeks second-guessing yourself. When the door opens, you will step in with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they're meant to be there, because you'll feel my peace in the very air of that moment. The unfolding that feels like overflow. It won't just be one blessing, it will be waves. One answered prayer after another. One breakthrough after another. You'll barely have time to process the first before the second arrives. This isn't coincidence, it's the catch-up of years you thought were wasted. The wisdom that will keep you. I'm not just giving you opportunities, I'm giving you the wisdom to know which ones are worth your yes. Because sometimes the enemy will send a counterfeit right before the real thing. It will look appealing, it will feel urgent, but it won't carry my peace. Trust the peace. If it's from me, it will come with peace, not pressure. The joy of finally breathing again. For so long, you've been in survival mode, planning for worst-case scenarios, bracing for the next battle. But this next stretch, it's going to feel lighter. You'll find yourself smiling without realizing it, laughing without forcing it, sleeping without restlessness. The heaviness will lift. The ground under your feet will feel steady again. You'll be able to breathe. The mark of this season will be these words. Return. What you thought was gone is coming back better. Rest. You won't have to fight for every inch anymore. Recognition. You will be seen for who you truly are, not who people assumed you were. And the reason I've changed my mind about you again, I've seen your heart through every stage, in the surrender, in the waiting, in the refining. And now I can trust you with restoration without it replacing me in your heart. So my child, when I place it back in your hands, receive it with joy, hold it with gratitude, and use it with purpose. Because this isn't just about giving you what you once lost. It's about showing the world that nothing surrendered to me ever truly dies.
God says, you thought the story was about survival, but I'm turning it into a story of abundance. For so long, your goal was simply to make it through the day, to endure, to hold on, to keep your head above the water. You didn't even ask for much, you just wanted the storm to stop. You prayed for relief, not even realizing that I was preparing you for release. But now, the wind is changing. The season is shifting. You are moving from holding on to moving forward. From scarcity to supply, you've lived through seasons of scarcity. Scarcity of resources, scarcity of peace, scarcity of joy. And in those seasons, you learned how to live with little. You learned how to stretch what you had. You learned how to find beauty in simplicity. That was training, not a permanent state. I did not create you to live in lack forever. I created you to be a carrier of abundance, not just to have enough, but to have more than enough so you can pour into others. Why the wait was necessary? You've asked, Lord, why didn't you bring me into abundance sooner? Because abundance without gratitude becomes entitlement, and entitlement kills blessing. If I had given you overflow too soon, you might have forgotten the days when I was your only source. You might have clung to the blessing instead of the giver. Now, your heart is ready. You value my presence above the provision. You will hold the gift loosely because you've learned to hold me tightly. The signs of the shift. Here's how you'll know the shift has begun. Opportunities will come to you instead of you chasing them. What once drained you will start to flow easily. You'll sense peace where there used to be pressure. These are not random changes. They are indicators that the atmosphere around you has shifted. Abundance in every area. I am not just speaking about finances, though I will increase those too. I am speaking about abundance in peace, the kind that holds you steady no matter the storm. Joy, the kind that bubbles up without reason. Wisdom, the kind that helps you navigate every decision with clarity. Relationships, connections that build instead of break. You will begin to see my hand in every part of your life, not just one. The test of abundance. Yes, abundance is a blessing, but it's also a test. The test is, can you handle more without losing focus? Can you share without fear? Can you remain humble when honored? I've changed my mind about you because I know your answer is yes. You've proven in lack that you can still praise me. So in plenty, you will praise me even more. Why the overflow matters for others. There are people connected to your obedience who are waiting for you to step into overflow. Your abundance will break their chains of limitation. Your testimony will open their eyes to what's possible. I'm not just blessing you for you. I'm blessing you so that the blessing will ripple outward. The shift in your walk. When you realize you're no longer surviving but thriving, you'll walk differently. Your posture will change. Your speech will change. You'll carry yourself with a quiet strength that comes from knowing who holds your future. And that confidence will be contagious. Others will feel it and begin to believe that the same God who did it for you can do it for them. The final word over this chapter. My child, you have passed through the wilderness. You have learned the lessons of the desert. And now, you are crossing into the land I promised you. It's a land flowing with more than enough. It's a season where the seeds you planted in tears will be harvested in joy. It's the part of the story where you stop bracing for loss and start expecting goodness. So breathe, rest, receive. Because I've changed my mind about you, and this time, the story isn't about survival.
It's about abundance.
God says, "You thought the season of rebuilding was finished, but I am still adding more. You've already seen me restore some of what you lost. You've already felt certain weights lift. You've already witnessed glimpses of answered prayers. And you thought, this must be it. This must be the end of the work. But I am telling you now, what you've seen so far was only the foundation. I have more to add, more to place in your hands, more to reveal in your heart. The layered nature of restoration. Restoration doesn't happen in a single moment. It happens in waves. First, I rebuild what was broken. Then, I reinforce what was rebuilt. And finally, I add what was never there before. That's the stage you're stepping into now, not just receiving back what was lost, but being given something entirely new. Something you never thought to ask for. Something you didn't even know you were missing. The quiet upgrades. Some of what I'm giving you won't be loud or public. It will be quiet upgrades, an increase in wisdom, a deepened peace, a sharper discernment. These will feel subtle at first, but they will shape every decision you make going forward. They will keep you from traps you don't even see coming. They will help you navigate blessings without being consumed by them. Why I keep building? You may wonder, why does God keep adding? Isn't enough enough? Because I am not a God of just enough. I am the God of overflow. And when I bless you, it's not so you can simply live comfortably. It's so you can become a source for others. Your life is a living example that I am faithful, and the more I pour into you, the more people will be drawn to me through you. The release from maintenance mode. For a long time, you were simply maintaining, holding things together, trying not to lose ground, keeping your head above water. But now you're moving from maintenance to expansion. You won't just hold the line, you'll gain ground. You'll move forward into territory you've never walked in before. This means new opportunities, new responsibilities, and yes, new levels of influence. The people assigned to build with you. You will not have to do this next stage alone. I am sending people who have the skills you lack, the perspectives you need, and the hearts to align with your vision. These won't be people you have to convince to stay. They will see what I'm doing in you and want to be part of it. They will protect what we're building together. Some of them are already on their way to you. The evidence will keep multiplying. This next season will be filled with undeniable evidence that my hand is on you. It will come in open doors, unexpected provision, and divine protection from situations that could have gone wrong. And each time you see it, you'll remember, this is not coincidence, this is covenant. The inner shift that makes it last. The reason this blessing will last because you're different now. You're not operating from desperation anymore. You're operating from identity. You're not clinging to the blessing out of fear, you're holding it with open hands. You finally believe what I've been saying about you all along, that you are chosen, that you are capable, that you are called for such a time as this. What you must guard in this season. Your peace. Don't let anyone disturb the stability I've given you. Your time. Be intentional about where you invest it. Your focus. Don't get distracted by what's shiny but shallow. These will keep the foundation strong so I can keep building without interruption. The ripple effect. What I'm doing in you will spill into every area of your life. Your family will feel it. Your friendships will feel it. Even strangers will be impacted by the light you carry. It will also reach people you will never meet directly. Because when you live as a walking testimony, the influence stretches far beyond what you can see. The final word over part 23. My child, what you've seen so far is only the beginning. The restoration isn't over, it's expanding. I have changed my mind about the limits I once placed on your timeline. I am accelerating the work. I am increasing the reach. I am upgrading the blessing. So, keep your hands open. Keep your heart soft. Keep your eyes on me, because the building isn't done, and when I finish, you'll see that this chapter was bigger than anything you imagined.
God says, "You thought you understood the ending, but I am writing a new one." You have reached the end of one chapter, but not the end of your story. You have walked through fire and floods, through seasons of pruning and seasons of planting. You've seen doors shut in your face, and you've seen doors swing wide open in ways you couldn't explain. But here you are, still here, still standing, still mine. And I want you to know, the fact that you're still here is proof that this ending will not look like you thought. The full weight of what's happening now. This is not just another shift. It's not just another answered prayer. This is the convergence of every promise, every seed, every tear you've sown. It's the moment where the threads of your life, some frayed, some tangled, finally come together in a pattern so beautiful that you'll forget the days when it didn't make sense. And you'll realize, I was weaving this all along. Why this ending feels different? Because it's not an ending, it's an elevation. I'm not closing a door to leave you outside. I'm closing a door to bring you inside, somewhere you've never been before. The version of you that began this journey couldn't have survived here. But the version of you I've shaped through loss, through delays, through unseen training is not only ready, but equipped. The breaker's anointing. I have placed something on your life now that will break barriers for others. Your victory is not just personal, it's generational. Where your family line saw patterns of lack, you will see patterns of overflow. Where others hit walls, you will walk through gates. Where the enemy thought he'd written the end, you will write to be continued. This isn't just about you, it's about every life that will be touched because you decided not to quit. The final clearing. Before I push you fully into this new space, I am clearing the last remnants of what doesn't belong. Some habits will fall away overnight. Some relationships will quietly fade. Some fears will dissolve without you even trying. You won't have to fight for this clearing. It will happen naturally. And when it's done, you'll feel lighter than you have in years. The double portion. Because you've endured twice the pain, I'm giving you twice the blessing. Where you were publicly humiliated, I will publicly honor you. Where you were misunderstood, I will make your story a source of clarity for others. Where you lost much, you will gain more than you can count. The double portion is not just in material things, it's in influence, in peace, in joy, in wisdom. The platform you didn't ask for. I am placing you in a position of influence you never sought out. You didn't campaign for it, you didn't push for it, but I'm giving it to you because you can be trusted with it. This platform is not for self-promotion, it's for kingdom impact. It's for opening doors for others, for speaking truth in spaces that have forgotten it, for carrying my presence into places that need it most. The final reversal. Every no that came from man will be overturned if it was meant to be a yes from me.
Every rejection will be replaced with an invitation. Every dismissal will be replaced with recognition. This is not revenge, it's restoration. And when it happens, you won't feel the need to prove anything to anyone. You'll simply smile, because you'll know, I kept my word. The overflow that will outlast you. This last part is important. What I'm giving you now will not die with you. It will outlast you. The decisions you make in this season will set in motion blessings that will ripple through generations. Your children, spiritual and natural, will benefit from what you've built with me, and they will tell the story of how you were the one who chose to believe when it made no sense. The last instruction before the new beginning. Stay close. Don't let the speed of the blessing make you forget the source. Don't let the applause make you deaf to my voice. And don't let the comfort make you forget the call. This is only the final part of this message because it's the beginning of what comes next. And what comes next will be so full, so abundant, so undeniably divine that you'll say with every breath, it was worth it. All of it. Every step, every tear, every delay, every fight, every prayer. My final word over you in this series. I've changed my mind about you, not because my love ever wavered, but because your heart has shifted into alignment with my will. The days ahead will be marked by acceleration. What once took years will take months. Abundance, no more barely scraping by. Authority, your voice will carry my weight. Anointing, you will walk into places and change the atmosphere without even trying. This is the moment we've been building toward together. So take my hand. Walk into the light of what I've prepared, and know that this right here is not the end. It's the start of the life you were always meant to live.